What if you're back again with another video? And yeah, I just want to say thank you all for watching my videos, taking your time and just watching it, and I'm just happy. And enough of me bickering around. Let's get right into the video. So we cut back to Izuku. Now he's in a detention center. Now he's handcuffed. He has cuffs on his legs to his feet, and he's sitting in a chair in the middle of a whole room. And it looks like an insane asylum. That's what Deku sees, just an insane asylum. And there's what's called soft fabric in the walls. And he's thinking, why the fuck am I here? And he's looking around, trying to see where he's at, but all he sees is just white. And Izuku, he thinks that maybe he got kidnapped while he was blacked out for some reason. But then Endeavor walks in. Now, be in mind that Izuku was unconscious for at least 2 days. So he got healed up, and he was sent to this detention center, and now Izuku's waking up. Mirko tried to, find out where Izuku is, try to visit him, but she was not allowed, even though she was the number 5 hero. She was still not allowed. Well, All Might, he's allowed to see him and also his family. And during this time, Principal Nezu know what happened and everything at the USJ, so he called up Gabriel to come down to Japan as quickly as he can. And Gabriel said it will take at least 1 or 2 days' time for him to come here. Now, instead of me bickering around, let's cut back to Izuku. Now, the door opens in one of those rooms, and Endeavor walks in. Endeavor just looks at Izuku, dead in the eyes, and Izuku, he doesn't have this eye patch, so Endeavor sees that he's blind. And Endeavor says, kid, tell me the truth right here now. Are you a villain? And Izuku says, it's none of your concern if I'm whether a hero or a villain. I'm just a normal human being. And Endeavor, he's enraged and just punches Izuku right in the face. And Endeavor says, since you're already an adult now, I don't really have to hold back. I really hate you disgusting villains. Always causing problems. And Izuku says, is this how every villain is treated? Now I can know why they became villains. You call yourself a hero? Todoroki was right about you. You are an awful father. And Izuku already know what happened to Todoroki, and he has a burn spot since Izuku thinks Endeavor did that to him. So, yeah. And Endeavor is furious by this, so he has a fire, makes his hand as hot for his fire, and just punches Izuku once more, but this time in the gut. And Izuku's just coughing up, like spit this time, and just laughing. You think you can break me? This feels nothing. And Endeavor grabs Izuku by the collar, and Izuku's not even putting up any resistance, so he's just letting it happen, since those cuffs has quirk canceling, so he won't be able to do anything, actually. So Endeavor grabs Izuku by the collar, telling him that he should tell the truth right now, or he'll be in jail for a very, very long time. And Izuku says, I want to know the truth so bad. Buy me a drink first, loser. And Endeavor is enraged and just punches Izuku right in the face. And Izuku, he spits out blood, but spits it right at Endeavor's face, causing Endeavor to fume even more. Right when Endeavor was about to punch Izuku right in the face, Gabriel comes in and says, I order you to stop what you're doing right there, hero. And Endeavor, he looks behind and says, "Who the hell are you?" And Gabriel lifts up his hand and says, "Angel's touch." And Endeavor sent flying to the other side of the room, sends his soft fabric so it wouldn't really hurt him that much, and says, "Another villain, I guess. I'll teach you a lesson." And All Might just steps out and says, "Endeavor, stop this now. You should treat that person with respect." And All Might just points at Gabriel. And Endeavor says, "Who the hell is he anyways?" All Might says, "Well, he's someone very, very important, and I very much must tell you not to mess with him." And Gabriel just goes to Izuku and looks at him. And Izuku's just giggling to himself and says, "Uncle, how you been? Long time no see, huh? Sorry if I couldn't keep in touch." And Izuku just raises the cuffs from his hand and says, "I would give you a hug, but I'm kind of in a predicament. Mind helping me out?" And Gabriel just says, "Sure." Sorry if you can hear the background noises, it's just not my cat. And Gabriel was about to open the friggin' cuffs, but Endeavor tells him to. "If you open it right now, I have no choice but to tell you to stop. And I don't care if you're a commander or not. He is a villain." And Izuku's just laughing at this point. "Villain? Endeavor, you act more of a villain than me. And to be honest, I would kill you on the spot right now if you weren't a number 2 hero. I would just leave you to die in the dirt." And this infuriates Endeavor, but All Might just tells Izuku, "Please, young man, stop what you're talking right now. It doesn't look good for you." And Izuku just says, "Fine," and just spits once more, but on the ground, and a little bit of blood comes out. And Izuku says, "Mind taking these cuffs off me? I'm getting bored in this place. So many memories." And Gabriel just unlocks everything. He unlocks the cuffs. He unlocks the cuffs that was tied to his legs. And Izuku just walks once more. And Izuku looks dead in the eyes at Endeavor and uses his quirk as fire comes out of his eyes. And Izuku, he wanted to kill Endeavor right there and then for showing such disrespect. And Gabriel stops Izuku. Gabriel looks at Endeavor and says, "Do you know who this young man is?" And Endeavor just says, "Just another villain. Well, who are you? His dad? What, you're gonna bail him out?" "That's not how it works around here." And Gabriel just says, "No, I'm not. But you should really show respect to someone who's higher command than you, hero. Since he is part of a commander of the Japan District Army." And Endeavor stops right there and then, and his heart sank. And Endeavor says, "Wait, commander? He's at the same age as my own son. How could he become commander?" And Izuku, he asked if Gabriel brought him his weapons. Gabriel said, "Sadly, no. They were all confiscated by the heroes." And Izuku, he's pissed. And Izuku just looks at Gabriel and says, "Does that mean they confiscated the one thing my dad gave to me? The M1 Grand. Did they take it?" Gabriel says, "Sadly, they did." And Izuku, he looks at Endeavor and says, "Endeavor, you have 5 days to give me that back. If I don't get it in the last remaining 5 days, I will kill you. No matter if you're a hero, villain, or just another civilian left to die. I deserve my weapons." And Izuku's at this angry tone in him that Gabriel has not seen for a while. He only shows this only when he's trying to interrogate insurgents or just people who's working with them. Gabriel, he just tells Izuku, alright, son, let's go. Alright, fine. Remember Endeavor. I meant it. And he just walks away. All Might, he follows behind, and Principal Nez is not there, so All Might just follows behind, and everyone's just seeing Izuku. If you're wondering what he's wearing a full-on white clothing. Somehow someone dressed him, which pisses off Izuku since he did not give permission. But he just doesn't really care right now. He just wants to go home. So he goes home. He got taken by a car from Gabriel, and Gabriel just gives him the full intel on what actually happened. How he reached out, and how he defeated a few heroes and a few villains while fighting. And he managed to kill at least one sort of strange looking villain. He doesn't know if it's human or not, but they're testing it right now. And Izuku, he's at the back. He's just Langshala. He doesn't really care. And he just feels his cheek and rubs it and says, ugh, still hurts, damn it. And he just heads home. Gabriel just drops him off and says, if you need anything help, my friend, call me. And Izuku just says, I need my weapons, especially the M1 Grand. If you can, try to get it. And Gabriel just says, alright, well, I guess I'll see you later. And he just drives off. And Izuku says under his breath and says, see you later. And just heads inside. Inko and Asashi, they're worried sick since they haven't seen Izuku for at least 2 to 3 days. So they run and hug him and ask what's wrong and how did he get these burn marks around him. And Izuku just says, sorry, mother. Sorry, father. Unfortunately, I can't say. But they will know what will happen to them if they do it again. And Hisashi just says, well, a few heroes came to our house and just took your stuff. I tried to, stop it and all, but I was unable to. I'm sorry, Izuku. And Izuku just pats his dad on the back and says, it's alright, Dad. I will get them back sooner or later. I promise. And Asashi, he's sad because the heroes took his favorite weapon, or what he gave to Izuku, and what Izuku inherited. They took it from him. And that's not a good idea on Izuku's part. So, for now, Izuku, he changes to casual clothing and just heads to his room. And he gets a phone call. He has a couple missed messages from Mirko and a couple of calls. But he finally calls Mirko and she says, Izuku, are you alright? I tried to come and visit, but they wouldn't even let me in. I'm not really sure why. And Izuku just says, I'm fine. I'm just tired. And she says, well, do you want to go take a drink or something? And he says, sure, why not? It's been a long ass time since I drank once. And she says, when was your first time ever drinking? 15. Holy shit, why did you drink at 15? Most of my life has been caused with, adults. So, they were nonchalant about it, so they let me drink. And I know it's underaging, but I really don't care since my life was on the line. You get me, Mirko? And she says, yeah, sure. Come to this bar. And 20 minutes later, he gets there. And Mirko, she was wearing casual clothing as well, and she got there early. And she wondered where Izuku was until Izuku just came behind her and just hugged her from behind. and says, I missed you so much, Mirko. You don't know how long I waited to do this. And she's like, Zuko, let's just go in, okay? And they just go in a bar and they drink at least until the freaking 2 a.m. And Izuku, he hasn't been drinking for a long ass time, so he's kind of tipsy. And Mirko, she's like, I wouldn't say fully drunk, but like she still has her like ability to move and all, but she's like kind of bird brained. So yeah, they were drinking a lot, and they called an Uber and everything, and they head to Mirko's house. I mean, not house, apartment. And yeah, next in the morning, Izuku wakes up in her bed, naked, and she's in her bed naked as well, but she's curled up like with a pillow. Once Izuku lifts up the blankets and all the sheets and just sees Mirko right next to him, he's just immediately shocked. Not shocked that like someone's there, but like shocked that maybe he might have done something that she wouldn't even like because she was like drunk or something. So he was worried, and they wondered if they did it. Well, that's what he thinks. But once Minako started waking up and sees that she's like naked, and sees to her left that Izuku's there naked while staring at her, and Mirko, she's like, what? Izuku, you bastard! And she just punches Izuku right in the face, sending him against the wall. And Izuku, like naked, so she can see everything, and sees that 13-inch dick, and she was like, cover yourself up, and she just throws a random like freaking clothing, and he just grabs it and says, what happened? And she's like, I don't know. Did we do it? And Izuku says, I don't know, I was drunk. Let's just go. And they dressed up, but not like dressed up, but like they put their clothes on and everything. Well, there were separate rooms, so he dressed up around in the living room while she dressed up in the bathroom. And she was, a little stinky and all, so she went to go and take a shower and then put on some new clothing. While Zuko was there, thinking trying to recall everything that happened, but to no avail. And once she got out and everything, she was like with a towel around her and everything. Izuku, he acknowledged how cute Mirko is. And he got close up to her and says, not gonna lie, you be looking cute. How do you say we try for second round? And she's like, we did it? And it says, no, I'm just joking with you. I think you were so drunk that you literally took off your clothes and just went to sleep. And I think I did that as well, but I'm not really sure. Either you ripped my clothes off or I did. I'm not really sure. But let's forget that this ever happened, alright? And she says, okay. You, baka. And she just, dresses up, not dresses up, puts on more, casual clothing. And Izuku, he was about to leave and go home, but he remembers that he has school. And Miracle remembers that she has to go to school. So they were both looked at each other and says, fuck. And they run to UA. And it's the middle of class, and as I was right about to end, and this is when he was talking about what's called the sports festival, because the whole trauma thing that happened with everybody. So he's trying to take the minds of everybody and think about the whole sports festival and what they're gonna do in a matter of 1 week. Once Izuku and Mirko head to the, at the 1A door, they were, Izawa looked at them and says, "Where the hell were you guys?" Izuku just responded, I think I was in a sane asylum for at least 2 days, and I don't know where she went. She's like, I just didn't come to school. And Izawa just says, "Well, you were worried about him, weren't you?" And everybody was like staring and says, "Wait, you went to an insane asylum for 2 days?" And Izuku just, I don't know, maybe? I don't really remember that much. And I really have a bad hangover right now, so I really don't want to talk. And Bakugo just says, "Huh, so you got drunk, you lazy deku?" And Izuku just looks at him and says, "Hey, shut the fuck up. I won't fuck this hangover." And Mirko just rubs pats Izuku in the head and says, "Well, my hangover got rid of already, but I'm not sure about you. You got drunk really bad," says the girl who couldn't even speak right, but was able to walk. And she says, "Well, it's not my first time drinking." "Yeah, sure, since it was me. And I guess it was kind of special, since we both woke up in the same bed." And everyone just says, "Wait, you guys slept with each other?" And Bakugo was like, "Huh? Nerd? You slept with her? Damn! Stupid Deku." And he's just mumbling under his breath. And Kirishima was like, "Yo, dude, that's rad." And everyone just looked at Kirishima and says, "Rad? He literally did it. What?" And Izuku just says, "Nah, we didn't sleep with each other. Well, kinda. And yeah, drop that story or I'll burn you all to a crisp." And Todoroki says, "Yeah, sure." Under his breath, since Todoroki still thinks that he's still better than Izuku, even though Izuku has, 100% been better than the Todoroki, not gonna lie. So Aizawa tells Izuku and Mirko about the whole USJ and how, they got trauma just because of Izuku or the villains as well, partly just because of the villains. And Aizawa, he's fucked up. His arm is broken and everything. He's the same as Canon. So he's this mummy kind of Aizawa. And he tells them that they're gonna go to the sports festival that's gonna happen in 1 week attire. And they're gonna have this 1 week to do whatever you want. And Aizawa mutters under his breath, "And I expect you all to train," and just says, "Alright, this is the end of class, now you're all excused." And everyone, they were walking away and everything, and Aizawa stops Izuku and Mirko and just looks at him, says, "Did you guys really sleep with each other?" And Mirko's like, and Izuku just says, "Yeah, we did." And Aizawa says, "My man." Nah. He's like, "You guys could be in trouble for that." And Izuku just says, "I don't care. We're leaving." And he just grabs Mirko's hand and just goes. And Mirko was like, "Sorry, Aizawa, I wasn't in class." And they left. Mirko and Izuku are walking back, but this time they're walking back to Izuku's place. And Inko and Hasashi, they were worried a little because they didn't see Izuku come back home. So once Izuku got to the door, and Inko just says, "Okay, this is almost the second time that you guys left. Oh no, Izuku, you left." And Izuku just says, "Well, partly because I was in a insane asylum for almost at least 2 days, and because I just went drinking, and I think I might have slept with Mirko." And she just hits Izuku in the back of the head, saying, "Well, I think that was their fault." And Izuku just says, "Nani? What the hell did you just say? You invited me over for a drink. I didn't expect we were gonna get that drunk." And Mirko just looks at him and says, kind of right. Still, you went overboard, even for your age. 18? What? You expect me to start drinking at age 21? Hell, you're 20 and you're still drinking. And Mirko just looks like Izuku with devil eyes, and Izuku looks back with his devil eye. And they just have this intense moment, but Inko just quickly says, Alright, drop it. Please get inside. And Inko invited Mirko inside. They drink coffee and all, since it was kind of midday, so she made a little bit of dinner and a suite of desserts. They ate and all, and Izuku, he told Hisashi that he's gonna get his guns back no matter what. And he did. In just 2 days in the week, Izuku got his equipment back. His 2 deagles, his katana, and his M1 Grand that he's very happy to have, because that's the only thing that he's interested in, since it was very important. But Izuku, he was wondering why did they take the M1 Grand since they haven't showed it that much. Well, he just took it once and shot the 0-pointer, but he did not expect them why they would take it. But he didn't want to look into it. So in the 1 week that they had, Izuku and Mirko were starting to get to know each other a little bit more, to the point that Mirko is not nervous anymore while dating with Izuku, and Izuku, he started to like her even more, and considering her to become his girlfriend. And since Mirko already asked Izuku out and everything, he didn't ask Mirko out, which he wanted to do for a very long time, but he thinks that it'll be, still late or something. So instead of trying to say Mirko asked Izuku out, Izuku just tells Mirko that he loves her very much, and that he'll be with her forever. And he will protect her no matter what. And he'll do absolutely anything for her. And she's with glimmering eyes and everything, and she says, "Really? Oh, that's sweet of you." And, they talk a lot and everything. And now, the week passed, and now they're back at school, and now it's time for the the sports festival. And most of the people who, they had the week off, they didn't train. In Aizawa, they told that they're gonna have the sports festival, and some of them booed and everything because Aizawa didn't tell them to train or anything, and Aizawa just tells them, "Well, I told you guys, have a week off, but I did not even tell you guys to train or anything. That's your own, your own thinking. You are your own human, so you have to train. Even though I do not tell you, you have to train." And Izuku, he hasn't been training, but mostly hanging out with Mirko, but he still has his physical physique. And is still taller than Mirko. So he says we're gonna go to the sports festival. So they go outside and they meet with Class 1B. Now Monica, he's there and says, "Look at those 1A losers. We can easily beat them." And he just sees Deku over him, and he's bigger than Monica, and says, "Look at him trying to act tough. You think you're better than us just because you have better quirks? Loser." And Izuku was about to crush Monica in the head so badly, but Mirko just remembers, since Mirko's not going to be there with them, Mirko tells Izuku not to kill them. But Izuku says maybe hurting him just a little bit more to teach him a lesson. Before he could do that, Kirishima just comes behind him and says, "Yo, bro, listen up." And he just looks and sees Midnight. Midnight gives his whole speech about how the sports vessel is going to go and what they're going to do. First is going to be the race. Once everyone lined up, Todoroki, he was about to use his ice and freeze everyone at the spot. But Izuku saw through this and just jumps at the last minute when Midnight says go. So everyone got freezed up except for Bakugo, Todoroki, and it was called Izuku and Kami, because she used her illusions to act like she got trapped, but she's already going. And Izuku quickly uses his telekinesis to rush forward, and he's flying there as fast as he can, because he really doesn't really care about the whole, sports festival. So he's like halfway there until Kami just uses one of her illusions to point out a whole 0-pointer in front of him. Sorry. And this doesn't catch Izuku off guard and just uses his fist and says, Dragon Punch! And a huge dragon comes out of Izuku's hand and just punches the 0-pointer. Or what he thinks is a 0-pointer, but more of an illusion. So the dragon just goes through it, and Izuku was wondering what the hell was that? Why did it go through it? And why didn't I do damage? So he just punches the 0-pointer, but it just goes through it. And he thought, it's just an illusion. And he just runs through it. And Kami was surprised that he could see it through, so fast. And Bakugo was right behind Todoroki. Todoroki's slowly getting up. Kami's right behind Bakugo. And yeah, now they're at the minefield. Izuku, he uses his telekinesis to bring up all the mine stats on the ground and puts them on the front. Now, why would you ask? Well, Izuku wanted to leave a present behind. So once they start heading towards Izuku in the minefield, Izuku raises all the mines and hits Todoroki hard, sending him flying the opposite way, and instead of going all the way back where the zipline, I think it was. No, not the zipline. The tightrope. So he's back there over again. And Bakugo, he uses explosions to counter it and just goes straight up and pass it. While Kami just nonchalant just runs, since all the the bombs, or not bombs, the mines are already detonated, so she doesn't have to worry about running through it at all. While Izuku, he gets there and he finishes, so he got first place. Bakugo, he got second place. Kami got third place, and I'm gonna say, let's see. Kirishima got fourth place, and everyone goes rest at Cannon. So now Midnight, she rolls the whole, the wheel of fortune, I'm gonna say, and it comes to cavalry battle. Now everyone, they're looking at Izuku since he has the 1 million points on his headband, and everyone's just looking at Izuku, and Izuku just gives out this dragon aura that scares the living shit out of everyone. So, yeah. Izuku uses, once, Izuku goes up to Midnight, and she, flustered and everything, and Izuku just says, can I be in a team by myself, if you wouldn't mind? And she says, yeah, sure. And Izuku's by himself, and it doesn't really, care of other students. So, yeah, he uses telekinesis to fly straight up and just stay there. Well, Todoroki and Bakugo tried to get Izuku, but they couldn't, since Izuku just throws out a couple fire, and Todoroki uses ice, but it mostly gets melted off. And this pisses off Todoroki a lot, since he thinks his ice is better than his fire. So once the Midnight calls it the end, and Izuku still has his 1 million points. Now it's time for the tournament. So first off is going to be Izuku versus Shinso. Shinso is talking and saying, you 1A losers? You think your quirk is so better? Huh? And Izuku was about to say something, but he stops himself quickly and tries to think rationally, and says, he's thinking in his mind saying, why would this kid try to talk to me? We're in a tournament, for God's sakes. We're supposed to fight. Must be something about his quirk. Well, no matter. So Izuku just pulls up a ball of fire in his hand, and Shinso just keep on saying, "You one-eyed trash and everything? Huh, I heard they call you the one-eyed devil, you villain." And Izuku, he's furious because he thought that code name was lost. And, well, not lost exactly. Why? Because he keeps on remembering all the times when his enemies will call him the one-eyed devil, and some even his comrades that he's seen so much has called him the one-eyed devil, and that they should fear him. And this brings back bad memories, and he's thinking to himself, how the hell does he know? Bastard. And just raises his fire even more hotter than they were before. And Shinso, at this point, he's scared because his fire started morphing into a form of a Eastern dragon. And Izuku just pulls it back and just shoots it at Shinso. Shinso, he doesn't know any martial arts or anything, how to counter it, so he just gets hit by the full frontal blast. Well, he tried to dodge it a little bit, but still gets hit by the full frontal blast, and it sends him flying. The jaws of the forming, fire of a dragon, clutches on to Shinso and just drags him towards the end, and just hits him against the wall, sending him to be friggin' a whole crater in the wall, and he's just like there, like Shalant. And Izuku, he turns around and just starts walking away. Everyone, they're like, holy shit, and everything. They're like excited. Well, if you're wondering about the whole speech, well, Izuku gave a whole speech and saying that everyone here should fear him. And this booed a couple of people, and because he hasn't said that much. Well, they thought that he's gonna get an inspirational quote or something, but he just says that whoever doesn't want to die, get off the arena. So now they're listening. Now they're like recalling all of this what he said, and some of the contestants who's fighting against like Izuku, they're thinking about checking out since they really saw Shinso about to die, and they see that fucking dragon coming out of his hand. It's like, okay, that's cool, but that's scary as well. And some of the people who has agencies, they're looking at this and they're thinking, holy shit, this kid is actually pretty good. I might sign him up. Yeah. And then so on and so forth, and it started like spreading. Endeavor, he hates Izuku to the guts, still thinking that he's a villain. But he's thinking about, just using him for his flame, since he has flame and he has flame. So yeah, Izuku, he walks back and is greeted by Mirako. And she's like, wow, you don't have to do it that hard, right? And Izuku says, well, that's not what you told me last night. And she's like, what the fuck? Not, And at this point, they're having like relationships. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. With that 3-lounge dick, yeah, boy. So, she's like, don't go hard, alright? Alright, cute, my cute little bunny. And he just walks off. And she just yells, I am not your cute little bunny. And Izuku just looks back and says, well, don't act like one, Snookums. And just walks back. And she just, a little hot-headed, but she just goes off and just sits down and just watches the rest of the fight. So everything goes in canon, everything. Uraka versus Bakugo, and Todoroki versus I forgot his name, that uses his tape or something. I forgot his name. Until Todoroki versus Izuku. Now, Izuku, he knows about the whole daddy issues and everything, and he thinks that is freaking Endeavor did the whole scar on him. And once Izuku got there and everything, Todoroki just says, I'll just use my right side to beat you. I don't need to use my dad's quirk. Being emo and everything. And Izuku just says, I see. Did your father do that to you? And he was taken back by this and says, no, my mother. And Izuku, he was shocked that any mother would ever do that to her own son. But Todoroki just says, I blame my father for doing that. He drives her into insanity and did this to me. And he just grabs his left side and says, I'll never use this quirk ever. This is my father. And Izuku just says, well, is it your father? And Todoroki, he stops and says, what do you mean? And Izuku says, well, sure, you have his blood gene and everything, but can your father control your flame? Or are you afraid, Todoroki? Or should I say, what's called? I'm trying to find Todoroki's last name. Not Todoroki. Oh, no. Yeah, just Todoroki. I'm sorry. I tried to find his last name, but I can't find it. I might have lost it in my head. I thought I had it really good. But Izuku just says, are you afraid of using your fire, Todoroki? Because I'm not. My flame comes from my father. And my telekinesis comes from my mother. So tell me, how are you and me any different? We both have different kinds of our own father and mother. But you restrict yourself of using your own vital power. Please, go on and tell me. And Todoroki, he's stunned by this, and he just says, I don't need to explain anything to you. And just Izuku just says, well then, so be it. And Midnight at this point just says, go! And Todoroki just shoots a huge iceberg. And Izuku looks at this, and it was coming after Izuku really fast. And just Izuku just says, so slow. And it just pulls out a whole flame that covers the whole iceberg. And soon tries to envelop Todoroki, but he uses his ice to cover him into like a shield. Well, a sphere around him. And it started to melt off. And friggin' Izuku just tisks himself. Todoroki, be yourself, goddammit. And Todoroki's stunned by this and says, You don't know anything, don't you? You don't know how my life has been. And Izuku just cuts him. No, I don't know how your life has been, but I know as sure as hell it hasn't been as much as me. I had to kill people. And Todoroki, he's just stunned and says, wait, kill people? Well, if you haven't known Todoroki, well, not to my extent, I have killed many, many people. Even my own friends I had to kill. I had to watch my own friends burn. I have to watch my dog die. So please, Todoroki, go on about your savvy little shortened life. But just remember, there's people out there who has worse than you. Hell, there might be even other people who kill their own families by accident. And do you ever feel that you have to kill someone right in front of you? Tell me right now, Todoroki. And Todoroki, he's just speechless that anybody would ever say that. And Izuku just says, fair enough. I see that you are no good. I believe you were abused, weren't you? I looked into your family a little bit. Poor you. I felt that. I've been brutally tortured. I feel your pain. But that doesn't mean that can't use your own power, can't you? Use your fire side, Toroki. Use it with your own pride. For if you don't use it, then I'll look at you nothing more than a little insect on the fucking ground. So please, challenge me. And Izuku just looks dead in the eyes at Toroki. And Toroki, he's like afraid what Izuku has said. And this sparks something inside of Toroki and just lights his whole left side on fire and says, I understand now, Izuku, thank you. And freaking Izuku, he's smiling and says, finally, I can go all out. And Izuku just envelops his whole body in fire and says, come on, Toroki, let's have a great fight. Don't disappoint me. And just goes straight at freaking Toroki. Toroki shoots a huge eyes and just uses fire as well. His eyes fastly melts and just comes into steam and then turns into fire. And since Izuku's not immune to fire, but he can control fire, he redirects the fire towards freaking Toroki. And Toroki has not had accustomed with the heat since he doesn't really use it. And so he gives a full frontal blast of it, but uses a little bit of his ice to block the whole attack. And he's huffing and puffing, and Izuku just rushes at freaking Toroki and just punches him right in the face, sending him flying, but Izuku uses telekinesis to bring Toroki forward, grabbing him by the throat and just choke slamming him. And Izuku just picks Toroki by the throat and says, is this really all that you got? And Toroki says, no, this is. And just freaking points, he uses his left side hand and just puts it at Izuku's face and just uses his full frontal blast. A huge fire freaking came out of it. And Izuku, he's kind of blind right now, since he can't see. All he sees is black, but he's trying to get rid of the ash that's in his eyes. And Toroki uses his chance and just kicks Izuku right in the stomach. But it doesn't really send Izuku flying, but without, he has instinct in his own freaking side. So since he has to, in the military, whenever he's going to sleep or something, whenever trying to take his gun or something, he has an instinct ready. So even when he's asleep, he knows when someone's about to attack. So his instinct takes over and fights. And he kicks Toroki right in the stomach, doing a whole roundhouse kick right in the face, and sending Toroki flying towards the wall. And Toroki, he's done. He's knocked out. And President Mike just says, oh my god, the 1A student, Izuku Midoriya, has won! And now to the final rounds. And Izuku, he went to the recovery girl and got his eyesight back and everything. And Miracle said, were you really going all out? And Izuku just says, not really. I just wanted to shaken up a little bit, since I haven't trained that much. And Izuku just says, I guess you'll treat me after I win this, won't you? And she just says, yeah, whatever. Just win, okay? And Izuku just looks at her and says, oh, I will. Don't worry. And just pats her on the head and starts heading towards the stadium. And Bakugo, he's walking there and he's exploding his hand, saying, oh, I can't wait to beat you. I'll kill you, you little bastard. And Izuku, he is in this combat position and says, and he lights his whole part of his body on fire and says, oh, I was waiting for this for a long, long time. Katsuki Bakugo. And that's where I'm going to end it off, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you all later. Bye.